TETON Reckoning by Debi Yazbeck. Fade in, exterior stockyard, day. Massive grounds, merciless midday sun scorches. Not a blade of grass in the stomped red dirt. Crude fences define livestock chutes and arenas throughout. Cowboys and livestock as far as the eye can see. Cattle bellows and hogs squeals assault eardrums. Don't even try to talk, best yell or just shut the hell up. Super, Fort Worth Union Stockyards, Texas, spring, 1890. A dirty-faced boy, Joey, 11, prods cattle one at a time into a narrow branding chute, straps a wood door shut behind the current bovine's ass. The cow pushes against the front gate. She's trapped but good. Straddled on the chute's next to top rails, directly over the cow's rump, a young, slender cowboy, the brander. Baggy, ragged breeches pinched tight with a belt, a too-big shirt trying to untuck itself, hat pulled low. The brander drops a cooled-off branding iron into the shimmering coals of a fire so it'll heat back up. Joey hands up a different red-hot iron. The brander grabs it, shoves it hard onto the rump of the cow. Sizzle. An owner's brand emblazoned forever, or at least until slaughter. The cow lets loose an indignant moo. Joey flings open the front gate of the chute. The newly branded beef bucks free, replaced by the next victim. The brander stands upright on the rails, stretches an aching back, hands knead lower lumbar. Under that hat brim, we stare into piercing green eyes. A vertical recent burn scar divides an arched left eyebrow. The brander swipes a filthy leather glove across a sweaty forehead. A long strand of dark reddish hair escapes the hat, pushed quick back up out of view. The brander crouches down, receives a freshly hot iron, and so the day proceeds. Exterior stockyard, afternoon. Sun rays slant sideways. Quitting time. A small boss's shack at the edge of the dusty grounds, right in front of a massive swine arena. Sows stuffed in so tight one could walk across their backs. The din of pig squeals is impressive. A long line of workers shuffle forward. The boss, 50, well-fed and mean, drops a coin into Joey's outstretched palm. 2 coins plop into the glove of the brander, disappear into an inside pocket. Boss scoffs.
Don't be spending all that in one place, boys.
A voice booms out on a far edge of the grounds. Tom Turner, 40s, seasoned cattle boss.
Men, we need a cattle drive crew. 12 pokes plus a cook. All the way to California, by the way of Yuma Road. Line up here, men.
Joey and the brander glance at each other. Yells of excitement. They sprint, heels up. Joey gets there first. Turner shakes his head.
Come back in a few years, boy. That trail eat you alive.
The brander watches sadly as Joey slinks off. Turner scrutinizes the brander.
Can you rope and shoot? Sit in the saddle all day.
The brander nods.
Name?
Martin Ricardo.
Turner peers suspiciously at the brander's lowered hat brim, moves closer, sniffs audibly, thrusts his hand out, grasps a smashed flat breast, yanks the brander's hat off. Madeline McCardle, 19, tangled auburn locks tumble down her back, feisty Irish lass. Her eyes burn in hate and distrust at Turner, at all men older than Joey.
Get out of here. Hell's half acres hiring whores. That'll scar cut your wages a little, girly. But tell Mary Porter that Tom Turner sent you.
Madeline spins on a heel, runs. Turner laughs, hollers at her retreating back.
Mary'll hire ya. I'll be your first customer, you hear?
Men all around laugh. Madeline runs past the boss's shack. The boss lunges, grabs at her, misses by an inch.
Give me back them wages. Don't you be coming back here.
Madeline runs past the swine arena. She grabs hold of the wire loop holding the gate closed, yanks it off its posts, swings the gate wide. Madeline's legs churn to stay ahead of the breaking wave of sows and their piglets surging forward, free of their fences, dispersing in all directions. Their squeals, loud and louder, drowning out all other sounds. Madeline sprints to a palomino, Anaduff. In one fluid motion, she flies at the horse, launches herself up over Anaduff's ass end and into the saddle. Swipes up the reins, kicks Anaduff, and they take off at a full gallop, leaving behind her a chaos of panicked beasts and frantic men. Exterior, McCardle Estate, afternoon. Rambling acreage, carefully manicured. Long horse barn and stables, arena, racetrack. A sprawling house and servant buildings shaded by massive oaks. Super, estate of George McCardle, Fort Worth, Texas. Interior, exterior, McCardle Estate, stables, afternoon. Cool shade in here, gaze out through the high and wide-arched entrance. Sunlight sparkles on a gravel drive and green grass. Madeline and Anna Duff fly into view, slow to a trot and in through the arch. Madeline jumps out of the saddle, leads Anna Duff into interior, stall, day. Square room, private wood walls. Madeline removes Anna Duff's bridle, hangs it, runs a hand down Anna Duff's muzzle. Anna Duff nuzzles Madeline's palm. Madeline buries her face in the horse's neck, wraps her arms tight around Anna Duff. One muffled sob racks Madeline's back. She wipes an angry hand across her eyes. She pries a wood slat off the back wall of the stall, extracts a small leather pouch, pulls the coins out of her shirt. She peers down into the pouch. So few coins. Adds these two. Stuffs the pouch back into the hidey hole, pulls a plain brown dress out. She rips off her filthy shirt, reveals long swaths of cloth wrapped round and round her full breasts, pressing them as flat as possible against her chest. She yanks the dress on over her head, steps out of the breeches.
Miss Madeline, there you be.
An older black man, Oscar, in brown livery, hurries in the stall door, a freeman with leftover slave demeanor. Oscar cares deeply for Madeline, and it shows as he hands her a wet cloth, like he does every time she rides in. She smiles tiredly at him, scrubs grime off her face and arms.
Your Auntie Louise says she'll be needing you inside.
Madeline's face sets rigid in resolve. Her ever-present Irish lilt is accentuated in her fury. As always, she attempts to hide it behind perfect diction.
She will have to wait. I will no longer be needing these, Oscar. He may have them back.
Oscar wants to ask why, opens his mouth to ask, but Madeline erupts.
I cannot escape. Why was I born a woman?
Why was I born a slave?
I will kill myself before I marry that pansy Milton Baird.
Oscar blanches, uncinches, and pulls Anna Duff's saddle off.
Mr. Baird be wealthy. He be owning more land than even your Uncle McCardle.
But he would never take me west. I would be doomed forever to this pretentious city and its pretentious citizens, and I would probably give birth to pretentious offspring. And I refuse to be present tonight at their pretentious gala.
Madeline nabs a steel-toothed horse curry comb.
Milton Baird will have to dance with someone else.
Madeline runs the comb down Anna Duff's side, strokes Anna Duff's neck. As she gently combs the mare's mane, Madeline's face softens, shoulders relax. Interior, McCardle Estate, library, dusk. Tall, spacious room, large windows. Setting sun splashes on a bijar rug. Rich mahogany walls boast family portraits, fine paintings, and shelves of leather-bound books. George McCardle, short, balding, postures importantly, jabs an arthritic finger in the air, determined to win this negotiation.
The cattle are healthy this year. No less than $20 a head. And that's a steal.
Lee Stiller, 30s, charismatically good-looking, immaculate in a summer wool suit, calmly tamps tobacco in his pipe. Takes his time. He reeks of accomplished businessman.
19. My last offer.
Only if you take 2,000 head.
Lee nods. He got just what he wanted. George narrows his eyes. Did that go his way or not?
Idaho beef steak. The best. Cattle get fat real fast on Snake River Valley green grass and alfalfa.
Your cowboys go by way the 4th Griffin Trail?
Lee nods. He strikes a match, puffs on his pipe, ponders the wall of framed works. As he strolls in front of the paintings and portraits,
I have an original Pizarro, and a Degas, and a Monet, at Stiller Meadows. There's a whole group of men in pairs who call themselves Impressionists. Their work soothes me.
George isn't interested in art, waves a dismissive arm.
My wife insists on covering the walls with more than just family portraits.
The corner of Lee's mouth turns up in a sneer at George's lack of taste. He stops in front of Madeline's portrait, brow scar absent. Lee's face sparks with interest.
Family?
Madeline? My orphaned niece.
Is she spoken for?
Milton Baird is sniffing about. Maybe he'll gumption up the balls to bow a knee to her tonight.
Lee regards George quizzically.
I granted him my blessing to have her hand. He hasn't even asked her opinion, like that matters. But nevertheless, every previous suitor has run from her.
Madeline irritates George no end. He sighs, collects himself.
Madeline is a bit of a handful.
Go on.
There's not much to tell, or maybe there is. She does whatever she damn well pleases, and she reads endlessly. She thinks she knows more than anyone, and she never passes up the opportunity to let others know it. Not attractive characteristics in a woman.
Lee cocks his head but doesn't comment. George points at a portrait of Constance McCardle, 15, blonde, petite, perky.
But my daughter Constance, she would make any man happy. Sweeter than honey. She is just now of age. Suitors are lining up.
I do need a wife.
Madeline enters the open door behind the men, ponders interest at the back of the imposing stranger, so tall and strong beside her squat, wide uncle. Just as Madeline opens her mouth to speak,
A dowry of 100 head of cattle is nothing to scoff at.
And Miss Madeline's dowry?
Her dowry is long gone in providing her room and board.
Madeline gives George the evil eye. Lee scrutinizes Constance's portrait.
Very tempting, Mr. McCartell. The women of the Northeast Wilderness
Madeline perks up. The West.
are a bit rugged for a man of my public presence.
Madeline tenses, runs a hand through her tangled hair, squints down at her plain gown and muddy boots, pulls the door closed behind her as she declares.
Aunt Louise requests I inform you, dinner will be served at 7 p.m. sharp. The gala starts at 8.
The men turn to the door as it slams, Madeline gone. Interior, McCardle Estate, Madeline's bedroom, evening. Madeline's brow scar is being carefully penciled in by the black, delicate hand belonging to Sissy, 18, handmade. The cooled, burnt end of the stick of wood provides color, disguises the scar. Pull back to reveal a tiny room upstairs, dim lit by one small window and a candle. Plain but serviceable. Narrow bed, armoire, washstand, chamber pot. Sissy dabs the last bit of color.
I hear we have a guest from the Northwest.
Sissy leans in, gossip the proud currency of the help.
A cattle baron from the state of Idaho, Mr. Lee Stiller.
Idaho will not be a state until July. What else have you heard?
Sissy pouts, refuses to answer.
Show me how pretty you've made me, Sissy.
Sissy hands a small looking glass to Madeline. Madeline arches her brow, sweeps a hand down coiffed locks.
Perfection.
Sissy forgives Madeline, fluffs the curl Madeline just must.
Do you know anything else about her, Mr. Stiller?
He be very rich and owns a bank.
Madeline nods in appreciation.
I need to see all of me.
Sissy holds the mirror up, steps back. Madeline stands in a high-necked blue-gray gown, gazes at her reflection. The smattering of freckles across her nose and cheeks appear grayish above the awful color. Long sleeves hide her shapely arms. Girlish ruffles disguise any natural curves.
I look like a cadaver in this color. A prepubescent one at that. Surely Constance had this designed especially for me, that bitch.
Sissy's eyes widen, mortified. Madeline explains.
A dead body. A young one.
Now Sissy is completely confused. Madeline contemplates, snaps her fingers.
Go to Cousin Constance's wardrobe. Bring me that dark red dress, the one with no sleeves, and those pretty red slippers.
Miss Madeline, Miss Constance be skinning me alive.
Madeline jumps at her.
I will skin you first. Hurry.
Sissy covers her mouth, eyes wide in fear, runs out of the bedroom door. Madeline gazes into the mirror.
Who? Will be worth 100 head of cattle?